Holy shit, guys. Oh, I can't actually say that. You can't swear in the first 13 seconds. I just have to start that all over again. If you just take a cursory glance at Bounding into Comics, I mean, it does boggle the mind. The one that really caught my attention, but I'm not going to really get into it that much, about the British government, our British government, they reportedly believe that if you read something from J.R.R. Tolkien or Aldous Huxley or George Orwell, it's going to make you a, well, you know, somebody who leans to that way. Is that correct? Maybe the point of view of this video is that, yeah, you're leaning to the right. Oh dear. In other words, which is ironic because our current government are the Conservatives. The same Conservatives who have been likened by Gary Lineker from the BBC as being I shan't say any more. 9999999. That's probably about as far as I'm going to go on that one. And I happen to think that Gary Lineker is correct. I mean, he's not implying anything else, but people have just taken to that as, oh my god, he's attacked the government. It's a personal attack on all of us. I think people are misconstruing what Gary Lineker has actually said, and I think he's just going to get slapped on the wrist. It's not going to be like in America where some idiot like Whoopi Goldberg makes a similar kind of statement and completely what she said was insane, and then she kind of doesn't have anything happen to her. But if anybody else said it who happened to be, you know, whatever, they'll probably get sacked or what, you know. It's so bizarre.
Thank God it's
But also the April O'Neil scandal. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's just the weirdest thing. And I didn't watch the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated film, which has, well, Seth Rogen at its behest. He's the man who's responsible for this. And as you can see from the image here, April O'Neil, you know, the red-headed, good-looking chick that was played in the live-action version of the films from Paige Turco and Judith Hogue, who's my favourite April O'Neil. I'm actually surprised that they haven't got Leslie Jones from Ghostbusters 2016 to actually voice the new April O'Neil. And now we've got Angry Joe, of all the people, a YouTuber I used to be a real big fan of, but in the last few years, he's gone off the rails. He's definitely an SJW. He's definitely into the wokey dokey, awful point of view of things, and you know, if that's what he wants to do, then fair enough. I mean, Joe is shacked up with a girl, with a woman. I think she's a single mother, and I guess, you know, if she's got kids, obviously being a single mother, he wants to represent, to be the best example to that particular kid as much as possible. You know what I mean? So the thing is, now he's made this tweet where he said, April O'Neil is white, not black. I'm tired of being replaced. This is BS. Woke, woke, woke. So what Angry Joe is saying is, you should stop complaining that April O'Neil, a red-headed woman, has been race swapped, because if you come out with that, you're basically a racist. And apparently we're weirdos for saying that. I don't care that she's black, but why isn't she 12 years old, hot and sexy instead of ugly and fat? Can't fap. Wow. I mean, the fact that Joe comes out with the 12-year-old example is a bit disturbing in itself. But the problem is, if you look closely at this tweet, this screenshot, he has copied in, or he's actually just used a tweet from Eric July, another YouTuber who's basically debunked the whole theory that April O'Neil was black. She's always been white. She's been white in the comics. She's been white in the cartoon, which I've just shown you right here, which has just escaped my gaze, the male gaze. And now this is so funny, isn't it? Like the whole back and forth, Joe saying that he won't go to any comic book convention where Eric July is going to be, because Eric has now said that basically, if I see him at a convention, I'm going to walk up to him and we're going to have a debate as to why he used my image and implied that I'm into young kids, etc., etc. Do you know what I mean? It is such a... Joe has got himself into hot water, and again, I've got to reiterate this, but since he's been shacked up with a single mother, and he wants to be an example to her kid or kids, And the thing with Angry Joe, if you look at his videos, his back catalogue, some of them haven't aged very well. You could probably say the same thing about me, but the difference is at least I just go out there and say what I have to say, because you know why? I'm a bit of a based man. But yeah, I can't wait to see how this plays out actually. And if you go to Joe's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle reaction for the new Seth Rogen animated film, and look, other Joe in the background looks like he's about to fall asleep anyway. Only 3,700 upvotes compared to nearly 10,000 downvotes. And yeah, it's just it's pretty funny to see actually. I think it's actually hilarious, and the social reaction has only been good, not incredible, and it's just pretty funny to look at. And of course, now on the Star Wars front, this is from Variety. This is fantastic news for me because I've actually done with Star Wars, but there's been a shake-up. Kevin Feige and Patty Jenkins, their Star Wars projects have been shelved. Taika Waititi looking to star in his own Star Wars film. Well, who's going to go and watch that? So you remember Patty Jenkins had this amazing trailer for Rogue Squadrons. She talked about her father, her late father, who was a fighter pilot, and how she was going to pay tribute to him in that film by having her own set of pilots. But apparently, because Patty Jenkins had a hit superhero film with the first Wonder Woman from 2017, although I think it was set around 1917, wasn't it? And it's kind of funny that she thought, well, you know what? I want to be a writer as well. And you know, there are very few directors who can write and direct their own material and still get critical acclaim for it. But it seems that Patty Jenkins wasn't taking no for an answer. And in the end, I guess her and Marvel and Disney and Kathleen Kennedy just parted ways. And everybody's talking about, oh, Kevin Feige's going to be attached to a Star Wars project, but it never got off the ground, which makes me think that perhaps we just won't ever see or know what that particular movie is going to be. Kathleen Kennedy, her legacy is always going to be that she oversaw that project, the sequel trilogy, which nobody likes. And guess what? Yep, this is going to be a cementing legacy. If she finally gets her Viking funeral this year, it's going to be hilarious. But you know what, guys? I actually want to end this video on a more pleasant note. All the talks about swapping out white women, I do believe, you know, the narrative is very interesting because we just had International Women's Day yesterday, and all the talk in the entertainment, pop culture, media is that white men are bad. You've got to make them stupid. You've got to make them the villains in any piece of entertainment at the moment. You can't have them as the good guy anymore. But I would also equally argue that it's the same thing for white women in pop culture. I love white women. I was brought up loving them from day one, man. I just do. They are my preferred ethnicity to date. And of course, I'd say Spanish and Italian are second and third on that plate. But honestly, you know, nobody talks about it enough. Like, white women are being removed from your entertainment. They're being race replaced, which I think is completely wrong. If you're going to have an established character like, say, Cindy or Ariel, Lara Croft, I'm sure they're going to race swap her at some point in the live action version. If you want to give them a black companion or a friend or someone to converse with, that's absolutely fine. But oh my God, you know what? All this talk is really pushed me over the edge. So much so that, I mean, a long time ago, 20 years ago, I would never ever dream of owning a film by Disney on Blu-ray or DVD back then. I would never dream about it. But now, because of all this wokey talk, where things are being replaced and you can't have these type of attitudes anymore, I went out there and I got myself some really good bargains.
A few moments later.
So I've got to show you this really quickly, folks. This is the Platinum Edition of Sleeping Beauty. I watched the trailer for this the other day, and they're not making a live action version of this yet, are they? But I dread to think what will happen when they do. But honestly, 2-disc Blu-ray, pre-owned, second-hand, just really, really good. Can't wait to watch this again. And yeah, I mean, you know, I want to watch traditional entertainment again, folks, because apparently it's frowned upon now. But you know what? Someone like yours truly actually appreciates stuff like this. Of course, the next two films I've got a bit of a running theme here, of course. Robin Hood, Men in Tights with Carrie Elwes. I haven't seen this for the longest time. Directed by Mel Brooks. The trailer still has me in stitches. I can't wait to watch it. And of course, we've got the Taron Egerton Robin Hood film from 2018. and I'm looking forward to watching this. I only paid £3 for this, brand new, can you believe it? And you know, if you got someone like Ben Mendelsohn as the Sheriff of Nottingham, I am definitely on board for that. And I'm a Robin Hood fan, actually, I've got to say, but it does lead me to a Robin Hood film by Disney that you probably forgot. I'm not talking about the one with Kiefer Sutherland and Charlie Sheen in the lead roles. I'm talking about this classic baby from 1973. Terry Thomas is one of the voice artists for this. Peter Ustinov is also in this film. And you know what? I had to go and watch the trailer for this movie again. And I just want to play this part right here.
Yay, Dad! Help! Robin, help!
Good. Marion, my love. And all sure.
I love that. You know, badass Robin Hood, who's a fox, rescuing another fox, or in the case, a vixen, Maid Marian. You know what? I've got to say, I do find this Maid Marian rather hot. I mean, Eve Hewson as Maid Marian in the Taron Egerton Robin Hood, yeah, she's hot as well. But when it comes to the animated Maid Marian of the Foxy Woxy variety, this one wins hands down. But again, the animation is beautiful. Male Robin Hood is just a badass rescuing her. And you know what? I want to see chivalry come back into this woke narrative. I want to see based men helping out women in whichever capacity they can without being branded the bad guy. You know, I mean, there are based women out there who do like men to open doors for them, to show them some manners, and just to have dinner over a table and not, you know, concentrating on getting to first or second base. You know, some women actually like conversation, some food, getting to know you inside and out, you know what I mean? And I kind of miss that. And when you see dialogue like this, or rather when you hear dialogue like this,
Help! Robin, help!
I love that. I love dialogue like that. It's just great. I miss this kind of entertainment, and I'm glad you can still go out there and source it and buy it on Blu-ray and enjoy it to your heart's content. Oh, Robin, help! I mean, some people might frown upon it today and think, oh, it's dated and very, very trivial. But to me, I just want more stuff like this to be in entertainment even now. And wow, what more can I say, folks? So if you enjoyed today's wokey dokey takes on what's going on in this crazy world, which seems to be imploding and exploding at the same time, make sure you share this video. Make sure you hit me with a comment below. And if I were you, and if you were me, you better come back for the next video.